Welcome back. Let's turn our attention from the Straits of Taiwan and the South China Sea and Asia to the most important country in the world for us because it is our largest next-door neighbor, Mexico. First, a Trump-appointed federal judge has decided that President Biden does not have the authority to be President of the United States. District Judge Robert R. Summerhays, a Trump appointee, has decided that the president cannot end a presidential decree of his predecessor, Donald J. Trump. Specifically, a policy Trump implemented called Title 42 that allowed U.S. border agents to turn away people at the border seeking asylum without even allowing them to cross the border to apply for asylum went into effect. Title 42 has forced asylum seekers to stay in Mexico, in camps, some very ugly camps. Trump used a health policy to stop immigrants. Is that legal? This federal judge in Louisiana says, no, Title 42 keeps people with disease out of the country. If that was true, why did 1 million Americans die from a disease that Title 42 was supposed to protect them from? Judge Summerhays wrote that the President of the United States does not have the power or the authority to end use of Title 42 because it was a health measure aimed at preventing the spread of communicable diseases within the United States. That's wrong. It was just one disease. The Biden administration filed an immediate appeal to the ultra-conservative Fifth Circuit Court, which is in New Orleans, where it is expected the court will back the judge. It will then be presented to the Supreme Court, where a 5-4 decision will either back up the judge or decide the president can be president. Free trading Mexico is being approached by the United Kingdom to negotiate a free trade agreement with Mexico that the UK lost when it dropped out of the European Union, which does have a trade agreement with Mexico. Trade between Mexico and the United Kingdom is about $5 billion worth and is expected to increase with a new agreement. The UK is also trying to join the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, of which Mexico is a member that Donald J. Trump, that was the trade agreement that Donald J. Trump pulled us out of. He refused to join in 2018. That agreement covers over 40% of all world trade and presently includes 11 nations that include Australia, Canada, Mexico, Brunei, Chile, Japan, Malaysia, New Zealand, Peru, Singapore, and Vietnam. It is the largest trade agreement in the world. Good luck, you United Kingdom, in joining with Mexico, an agreement with Mexico, and in joining the partnership. AMLO, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, President of Mexico, intercedes and allows dangerous cars on Mexican states and city highways and streets. 3 days after the Secretariat of Economy announced a program of mandatory biannual mechanical verifications for all cars 4 years or older, President Lopez Obrador has overruled the mandated car inspections because the Secretariat didn't first get his approval of the program. Excuse me, Mr. President, but what's the Secretariat supposed to do? Run errands for you? AMLO says that the people can't afford mandatory inspections and that any repairs of problems found during the inspections. His real reason is, and this is a direct quote, AMLO, quote, before, parentheses, I came to office, on close parentheses, the government was a mess, with each secretariat doing whatever it wanted to do. But not now, especially when it affects people's pocketbooks. Next item, border news from Pulse News Mexico. Since Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador became president on December 1, 2022, the value of 2018, The valuation of the state-owned Petróleos Mexicanos, Pemex, has shrunk by $4 billion. Percentage-wise, the oil company's value has declined by 42%. 42% in less than 4 years, actually about 3.5 years. It is now worth $5.21 billion, down from the $9.1 billion Pemex was worth on December 1st, 2018. On that day, Mexico was the 16th most valuable oil company of the top 50 largest oil companies in the world. Today, 3 years later, Pemex is not the 20th largest of the world's top 50 oil companies. Next item, from Pulse News, Mexico. Everyone knows that former President Donald Trump's negotiators made few changes in NAFTA 2.0, the U.S., Canadian, Mexican trade agreement that replaced the fabulously successful North American Free Trade Agreement. On that subject, President Trump and I disagree, but not respectfully. One of those changes came from the American labor unions that insisted that free union elections in Mexican factories be experienced starting with the new trade agreement. That was something Mexico didn't have. They had unions like the CTM, Confederación, whatever it was, CTM, Mexico's largest union, that would make deals with factories and owners of businesses to just sign up and recognize their union, and there were never any elections. I had experience with Mexican labor unions in Tijuana when I worked at the racetrack between 1967 and 1971. The Alba Roja Red Dawn union, that was a CROC union, and they objected to my presence because they said a Mexican could do my job. Well, a Mexican couldn't do my job without having an American work permit. So being an American citizen, I didn't need that. And being a Mexican citizen by birth, I didn't need one in Mexico either. Anyway, the agreement allows, that's the USMCA agreement, allows one or two of the three countries in the agreement to challenge the lack of free union elections in Mexico. The U.S. Trade Representative, Catherine Tai, T-A-I, has asked Mexico to investigate complaints from a Panasonic auto parts factory, that's a Japanese company, that complained worker rights are being violated. This is the third complaint filed by the U.S. The previous two were settled by union elections in which new unions were selected by majority votes. Item 3, retirement to Mexico. Quote, Live and Invest Overseas, an organization, surveyed the world's many known good retirement towns and cities and published the 15 best places to retire to if you are American. So, did popular Mexican retirement towns make the list? The places where most Americans retire to, like Lake Chapala outside Guadalajara, Mexico's largest lake, San Miguel Allende, famous for its artistry and artisans, Cuernavaca with the great climate outside Mexico City overlooking the Tierra Caliente, or Baja California with its 250,000 American citizen residents? No, it didn't. But Puerto Vallarta was ranked second best in the entire world, number 2 behind Portugal's Comporta. So there you have our Mexico report for the week. We trust that you enjoy it and can use it in your everyday life. We ask that you send us your comments and messages to the email address that will be posted on your screen shortly, HispanicCommentator@gmail.com. Send us anything you want, especially asking for comments or answers to questions you might have. And we will be here on YouTube and Facebook as usual. Tell your friends, have them sign up and subscribe to us so they will be notified whenever we post a new Contreras report, which we're doing at least once a week right now. Now, I also will apprise you of this fact. We are preparing within a short time to go onto Roku, R-O-Q, R-O-K-U, R-O-K-U. We will have our own channel, the Contreras Report, which will be available to you anywhere you might live in North America or South America. 107 million subscribers between the United States and Mexico. So tell your friends, be on the lookout for it. And when we go, I will let you know, and we will go on with at least one program a week, and we hope to expand that to 3 programs a week. In any event, stand by us, tell your friends to watch us, we will appreciate it. And until next week, I'm Raul Lowry Contreras. This is the Contreras Report. Adios.
Thank you.